What up, though?
What it do? What it do?
It seemed like you were still moving to that countdown a little
I
bit.
was. I was thinking,
Look,
thinking, thinking.
I always do. I'd be like,
But
gotta
I love
remember that.
music.
Oh,
I got into it.
yeah, yeah, gotta remember. Like, oh, okay, it's time. Oh, there they go. Hey,
Hey.
hi. Welcome to Talk to Me Nicely. I'm your host, Miss Lily. Make sure that you talk to me nicely. And I have Monica here with me. Monica is a great co-host with me when we speak on After the School Bell Rings. Monica is a teacher and she has been in the educational um, department, right? For how
Field.
long? Field,
I've
there you
been deep
go.
off in these teacher streets for probably about 35 years now.
Oh, that's a long time.
It
So,
is.
with that being such a long time, we want to kind of trust her judgment on some of the things that we speak on because not only is she a parent, she's also a teacher too. So she sees things from both sides, right?
Correct.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Hmm.
And I'm a parent, so I see things from one side, but as a parent, you're also a teacher too. So you can't forget that because you're a teacher as well. So
Very
we're
much.
gonna dive into a few things because it's needed. Like, we want to talk about what happens, what the things that you can do prior to your kids going back to school. Things that you can start now to make sure that you and your children have a good school year because it's more than your child that need a good school year. You too. You have to be involved in many different ways, right?
Hmm.
So we're gonna start off with a little bit of advice on getting your child prepared prior to school. School starts tomorrow for some places and already started back.
Hmm.
Um, I know my baby don't start until the 8th. So we got some late timers, whatever the case may be. We just want to offer a little bit of advice. Let's start with this one. We were talking about this one earlier, Monica, is sleep. Is sleep.
Yes.
Sleep is very, very, very important with kids going back to school and just period in general.
Yeah.
Sleep is very important. You need to make sure that your child has a good routine and getting the proper sleep. I wrote it down how many hours are needed.
Did you freeze? Are you coming back?
Can you see me?
I think Leander froze, but I can definitely get on my soapbox regarding sleep. It's all
I'm
right.
right
I had you.
here.
I
You
got
can't
you.
see me. I'm
I know
right
you
here.
you disappeared, but now you back.
Oh,
Um, but I
yeah,
was
but
starting to
she can talk,
say,
and I got some hours too. Go ahead.
okay. And yes, we are going to drop a chart in the comments regarding how much sleep children need by age. But sleep has always been one of my soapbox issues. Sleep is the foundation of our health. It's very important, especially important
Mhm.
for young children. And I want parents to know how much sleep their children need and how important it is. I can't tell you how many times I've had people come in and just, oh, I just want to warn you that so and so's been up since 3, or they didn't sleep at all last night. They wanted to play the game and whatnot. Um, I'm gonna need you to put little Stink Butt Junior to bed. I really am. I don't know no other way to say it.
Ooh,
I
we
know they
got to
may
gain
resist. I know they
control.
may cry. You might have to
Hmm.
go down to the basement and cut the power. Put the Wi-Fi box in the
Okay.
trunk of your car. Whatever you
Okay,
need to do.
beautiful.
But a sleepy children are not ready to learn.
Hmm.
And sleepy children account for a great deal of behavioral issues in the classroom. And I think we all know that we don't need no extra issues. So let's avoid what we can avoid and get some sleep.
It is definitely very important. You want your kids to have a good day at school. And like Monica was saying, it can create issues within the classroom when they don't. Because if they
Hmm.
groggy with you at home when they don't have sleep, just imagine what type of things they're possibly doing at school. So you want to
Hmm.
make sure that they are getting their sleep and that you're waking them up in enough time to actually wake up. You got to give them enough time to wake up and get going and be prepared for the day. Don't wake your child up 30 minutes before y'all got to go out the door. That makes no
Mhm.
sense. That's not a
Mhm.
good thing. You're not giving
Mhm.
them time to wake up. So now they're going to be groggy. So those are some good tips. Like make sure they get some sleep. Make
Mhm.
sure they get some rest. If you know how they
Mhm.
are with you, they're going to be no different when they get to school, and they might be even
Mhm.
worse.
Mhm. And
Right.
you want to avoid all that morning struggle. We all know how it
Yeah.
is trying to get a sleepy kid up and out the bed, and you trying to tell them to get themselves dressed, and you trying to get yourself dressed and out the door. We want to try to have as pleasant of a morning as we can, and that's gonna
Mm-hmm.
one of the things that's gonna be important to that is everybody getting to bed so we can be ready to wake up. And I'm not saying that it's necessarily an easy thing to do. But with consistency, it gets easier over time, and it's just appropriate. It's just good. It's just that's just a good health habit. Period.
Yeah.
And in
It
the
is. And
event
like
that
you
Stephen
said,
Butt Jr. the third does stay up till 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm gonna need you to go and take him home because he ain't ready to learn nothing. Okay.
put the kids to bed, and everybody's situation is not set up the same, right?
Mhm.
So we were talking about different routines that you might have in your home and being consistent in that routine so that the children are accustomed to certain things. Like you know how it is. If you know you normally go to bed at 9 o'clock, you probably naturally wake up at 7 o'clock. So if there
Mhm.
is a routine, your body adjusts to that routine and it naturally wakes up, especially if you get in the proper amount of hours. Once again, we will post that in the comments, how many hours it is that your children need. Um, what else? Let's see. Um, your child's mental health. Very, very important. Going back to school is not an easy thing all the time for the parent or for the child. And
Mhm.
sometimes parents only think about themselves and what they expect from the child, but don't consider what the child could possibly be going through themselves as they are
Mhm.
preparing to go back to school. This is new. Even if they was in first grade last year, this is second grade this year. So this is a new class, new setting, new teacher, a new curriculum. They have to
New
learn different
expectations.
things.
Mhm.
Exactly, because you're older now. So
Mhm.
now you got even more added to your plate. So we have to consider that. You have to think back to when you was a child. How were
Mhm.
you going to school? You know, how did your mother or your father treat you prior to school? Did that work for you? You
Mhm.
know, what could they have done differently that you can start implementing with your child to
Mhm.
to give them a different outcome, right? We want to make
Mhm.
sure that you talk to your kids, talk to them, ask them how they're feeling about this school year and what it is that they may need from you during this school year so that they can be successful and confident each and every time that they walk out that door.
Mhm.
Help to build their confidence prior to school. Let them know that you there and you riding with them. Period.
Mhm.
We don't always
Mhm.
think about that.
No, we don't.
Being present, being present in your child's life when it comes to their schooling and their education. You got to
Mhm.
meet with the teachers, right, Monica? So let's speak about building a relationship with the teachers and how important that is. When I was talking to you earlier, we were talking about how you read the statistically, it said 40% of the children uh, have a booth
It was
when
saying
parents are involved.
and it may be different now, but at the time when it really impressed me when I learned this, I was
Hmm.
reading something and it was telling me that student achievement, and I think they were calculating, like, of course, academic performance,
Hmm.
attendance, engagement at school, and some type of way whether or not they like just enjoyed being at the school. But however they
Hmm.
tabulated it, the numbers came up to whatever is 40% better when the parent is involved in the education and what's going on at school. Parents and teachers are a powerful combination. Parents and teachers together your child is going to do better. You as a parent are going to be more comfortable, and the teacher is going to feel supported. So I have DPSCD students. The calendar is already out for most schools, whether school is started or not. The calendar is probably already out. Go ahead and look at them days for the parent teacher conferences. Go ahead and look at those days for the Title X meetings. Put that stuff on your calendar because it is just that important. And I know you may not be able to go to every parent teacher conference. I teach as well, so I'm working at the same time when the conferences are going on, and I've got students. I can't just tell them to hold tight and I'll be back. You know, so there are times I can't leave, but I definitely make sure I always make that first conference. I introduce myself. I let the teachers know my family structure, let them know how to reach me if they need to reach me, how to reach my students' older siblings if they need to reach them, and be present. One thing I really want to see parents do, and it's so simple, is just get off the phone when you're dropping your child off. I know different schools have different procedures. Even if you're walking them to the bus stop, I be aware, be observant, engage. Good morning. How are you? Oh, my name is, Teresa. I'm Timmy's mom. And just, get to know people and faces, and just, if you're an intuitive person like most of us are as mothers and women, just get a feel for the environment. Be in the environment, present, not on the phone. Even if you have the type of system where there's a pull-up thing to drop your kid off, park that car and walk them up. You don't have to do it every day, but do it sometimes. Let people be familiar with your face, be familiar with theirs. It may help alert you, on the day that somebody's around there that don't belong around there, because you know the rhythm of the flow. Just
Also
please
may
put the
I'm
phone
cut you
down
off,
for a
but it
minute.
also can make your child comfortable too.
Mm-hmm.
If you start showing up in that way, it makes your child a little bit more comfortable, because the end of the day, you're taking a child and you're dropping them off at a building to
Yep.
be with almost strangers, right?
Strangers,
Right.
because you
So
don't know
they're
everybody in that
strangers.
building. Yes, it's some strangers up in there.
Exactly. So exactly. So as a parent, of course, you may not know everybody who's around your child when they're at school, but it's still important to involve yourself enough so that they know who you are. Oh, that's such
Yeah.
and such mama, because
Yeah.
they show their face,
Exactly.
and
Yeah.
your child is also gonna be like, I know my mama show her face. Let me, or whatever, or my daddy always showing up, and
Yeah.
they know all the
And
teachers and all this other type of stuff.
and
And
don't
that
wait till
helps
there's a
to
problem to
alleviate
show
some of
up.
the problems that teachers have, huh?
Mm-hmm. And don't wait till there's a problem to show up.
Yeah,
You
no, why
know,
do that?
don't wait till there's a
Mm-hmm.
problem to show up. Show up to say hello. Show up and walk into the
Yeah.
office and say, "Hey, Miss Smith, how was your weekend?"
Mhm.
I just wanted to come
Yeah.
say hello and go on about you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, really simple engagement, and just not the phone. Please put the phone down. Leave it in the
Mm-hmm.
car for that little 5-minute period. Even if you have the kind of thing where some schools have where your kid just walk up and stand in line, walk up there and stand in line with them for a minute. It goes back to
Yeah.
what you said about routine and schedule, because I know I got a lot of parents who are hear this and think I don't have time for that. And I feel you. Some of us got 3 kids going to 4 different schools, and then we got to get to
Mm-hmm.
work on time. But we're
Yeah.
expressing these things because it's just that important. And once you have that consistency and routine in your house of we sleep, we wake up, we're well rested, we're ready to get up and go do the things we have to do. We're not rushing in a mad panic. Because I don't know about you, but that mad panic just puts me in a bad space. Like I need to calm down before I can enjoy my day. But I'm an
Yeah.
adult. I know how to go through that mental process
You
of
can
I've had a
process.
bad morning. Let me get it together. A
Yeah.
child don't know how to do that. A bad morning
Right.
means a bad day. You might as well come get me because I'm about to
Yeah.
cut up. You feel me?
Yeah.
So
And you
yeah,
don't want
nobody
your
wins.
child to have a bad day. So you want to make sure that you doing what you need to do as a parent to ensure that when they leave, that they
Hmm.
good. Because
Hmm.
what they say, you set the tone for your day,
You
right?
do. You set the
So
tone
if
for your
you can set the
home. Yep.
tone for your, exactly, make sure
Hmm.
that tone is a good tone, because just like you might get frustrated at work, kids get frustrated at school because they doing a whole work schedule too.
Yes,
right?
they are.
So we were talking about when kids do come home, how it's important for them to have a little time to themselves to recoup, reset, get it together before they
Mm-hmm.
dive into homework because they didn't already
Mm-hmm.
did their 8 hours.
Yeah,
They
and I mean,
tired too.
they are, and it depends on the person. But I know for me, and most likely your children are some miniature version of you. You know, I like to have some decompression time. I cannot imagine you would really get your feelings hurt having me come home from work and giving me some more work to do immediately. No, you know,
Yeah.
I need a moment. I need to decompress. You know, we're gonna have to do a whole nother podcast on homework because some people get it, some people don't. But at any rate, if they have anything to do, I would personally encourage letting them have that decompression time before they come home. You know,
After
they,
you
they
get
it's
home.
it's good for
Yeah.
your mental health. You just need it for a
Yeah.
minute. Now, you know,
Yeah,
run your
because
ship how
guess
you
what?
run your
It might
ship,
be
but
worse on you. I'm sorry to cut you off, but you might make it worse on you if you force them to do it immediately because they might, I don't feel like it.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
tired. They might have do it, and now you sitting there and they
And now
didn't
you
erase
mad
the
and you
paper so
frustrated.
much.
Mhm.
Yeah, and now the paper all messed up because they not even focusing for real because they
You
need a
frustrated, they
mental break.
frustrated. Nobody wins in that scenario. Nobody
Exactly. So
wins
like
there.
with my baby, her homework time is 6 o'clock. At 6 o'clock, that's the time that you sit down and you can work on homework. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? Then after that, you still got a little time before you go take a shower, bathe, whatever, and get ready to, you eat and then get ready for bed. But
Mhm.
yeah, that's important. And we definitely yeah. Okay. Anyways, let me move forward with some other things. Now, you deal with the babies, Monica. So for those who got them little babies that's getting ready to go to school, like my baby, and Lord, I don't know what I'm gonna do. We're learning something different with the potty training. Like I'm working with my son right now with potty training, and oh my God. Oh my God, because baby, it gets real. It gets real for real, and it's not always easy. But if you are a parent like myself and you have a little one that's getting ready to start school, they are making some serious changes, right, Monica?
Well, here's
They
two
they
things.
making some changes for the kids to start school.
Here's two things I want to say about that. Yes, there are changes being made because over the past, I'm not sure how many years, there's just a great increase in the number of children who are coming into preschools and and even kindergartens who are not fully potty trained, and quite simply,
Mhm.
they don't have the facilities to change diapers or change pull-ups in these older age classrooms, barring of course a medical condition, which I don't know, that's a whole nother topic. So it used to be more of an open requirement that you had to let them in and you had to try to make the accommodations, but unless there's a medical issue, that's going to be kind of being pulled back a little bit. um my soapbox
Mhm.
issue when it comes to potty training is body autonomy. At some point, I want my child to start to understand private areas. And how are you going to understand
Mhm.
private areas when you still spreading them for whoever got to change your diaper? So for me,
And you
for
go,
Mama
cause
Monica,
yeah, yeah.
that was my issue. I recently
I
learned
understand
that
that
the later the potty training, that it can lead to bladder weakness, like later and
later
like
in life.
throughout life, and I didn't even know that. So just know that the it's not going to be, the potty training issue is not going to be so liberal. It may be a
Mhm.
situation where, okay, we'll accept your child, but as soon as they do whatever they got to do, you have to come and take care of it.
And
And I
take
mean, if you're a
care of
working parent, you don't have time to do that. And I am not the potty training expert. I'm not. Um, and I know it's hard. I'm gonna tell you, no, I'm not. I'm not gonna lie to you. I got 4 kids. You know who potty trained my kids? The
oh,
school. Shout out to
oh
Sherry.
wow.
She share whatever she called herself on Facebook. I'm a tag her. But I followed her directions though. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? I wasn't like, oh,
Mhm.
I'm her mama. I know what to do. I was like, huh, do what? And do it. Okay. I
Mhm.
follow directions. You know what I'm saying? So it's nothing
Yeah.
wrong with saying, hey, I'm having trouble. What are you doing so that I can do the same thing? We on the same team. You know what I'm saying?
And, and, and to just piggyback a little bit off of you saying, like, you listen to her, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
important too. Um, no, this may not be such and such child. It is your child, right? But it does
Mm-hmm.
not mean that somebody else cannot offer you some type of advice that can help you when it comes down to your child, especially if they already have children, they done been there, done that, and it worked for
Mm-hmm.
them. And you can mix it up however it is that you choose to, but it's okay to listen to advice from other people because some things can make your life a little easier.
And
Be
you know what
open
else I'm gonna
minded
say?
to that type of stuff. Hmm.
Um, it's especially when it comes to the teacher, because your child's teacher sees the side of your child that you don't see. You
Hmm.
know, your child is your who they are and your temperament, but kind of like I'm gonna compare it to the way we kind of switch up when we are working at home. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
I'm not the same person at the job
Right.
that I mean, for the most part, you understand what I'm saying. But I
I
have
know what
different
you're saying.
behaviors that I may have at
Right.
home that I don't have when I'm out in the world, and your child is the same way. So sometimes
Hmm.
that other person has a more, when that other person being the teacher has a more objective view and can kind of show you some things that you maybe don't know, and it's all for the best of your child. Because
Exactly.
all the time, now I'm not even going to say most of the time, or the teacher will tend to view your child in a more individual, independent way. Whereas you, especially us moms, that's my baby. You know,
Hmm. Hmm.
um, I, I I don't see your baby. Yes, your baby might be a baby, and I get that as being a mother, but I see that your baby's a person. You know what I'm saying? This is a child. This is a young child. So the teacher's looking more at the abilities. You know, understand what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So having that connection with the parent to share things, very often you get to share with parents, oh, your child does this at school. You know, they're really more independent. You know, they're at home screaming and hollering, but at school they're cool as
Because
a cucumber. You know, they know how
yeah,
to
because
act and
I'm
be,
sure they
wow, they
different.
do that. Oh yeah, we don't have no problems out of little Timmy. You know what I'm saying? Because
I'm
it's a
trying
different
to tell you.
environment, and kids are smart enough to know that what's working at home is not what I do here. You know, and home is also
Hmm.
the comfort zone. So a lot of times you're going to get that, and that's
Exactly.
okay. That's okay.
Because
And that goes
once
back
Ken
to
see my face, he a whole nother kid from how
right,
he was before I walk in the door. Now he's
exactly.
whiny. Now he's like this
Right.
because mama didn't walk in,
He go from
And
Shakespeare
listen
to
to
a
your
temper
teacher.
tantrum.
Right. But see, you have to listen to what the teachers are saying because you may feel that your child is just one way and they won't do or you don't know how they may be. And you also want to listen to your children. We were talking about that too. Listening to your kids and what they say, what happens when they go to school. That's very
Hmm.
important. Don't ever feel like your child is just telling you something when they saying what's happening when they go to school and them doors closed. Because when we drop our kids off, we don't know what's happening when them
No,
doors
we
close.
don't. No, we don't. And everybody in that building is not okay.
That part. That part.
And when you need to have a rapport, please have a rapport where your children know that you can tell them things. I mean, know that they can
Hmm.
tell you things. And even when they tell you something that sounds crazy, do your due diligence and kind of investigate or ask more questions about it. Because I've been on both sides of that. I had my twins. Uh, was very good storytellers, and they used to get me all the time, have me up at the school about some stuff that never happened. But
Hmm.
then later in life, you know, that changed and they started telling me stuff and I'm still thinking, oh, they just making that up. That don't make no sense. Come to find out it was true, baby. Ooh wee.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And the whole thing just that'll be a whole nother, I can't even talk about that. We don't want to get sued. But
Okay.
the
We
very
don't want that.
crazy things my children were saying to me turned out to be absolutely true, and the students were absolutely in danger, and other students had been telling their parents too, and there had not been any action taken because it truly sounded too ridiculous. So
For it to be true.
you and I spoke
Well,
earlier about the lady who took the step of putting the camera in her baby's hair, You know
Oh
what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
That's just an example for me to give you. Everybody ain't
And
right,
so
so
if you
you do
haven't
need to be
heard about the
watchful.
story, if you haven't heard, I didn't mean to cut you out, Monica, but if you haven't heard about the story about the lady who put the camera in her child's hair, her child was making complaints about things that was happening, and the parent was also making complaints to the office, letting them know that something was not right happening in that classroom, and so she hid a camera in her child's hair, and what it revealed was the child was being beat in the classroom. Being called names in that classroom, and she went to confront them about what she saw on that recording. So it's so important to listen to your children, even if it do sound ridiculous, even if they're known for telling tales, still listen, and do your due diligence, what you need to do to follow up on what could possibly be going on, because we don't want your children being mistreated out here. That's why it's important for you to show up, and let them know that you show up, so that if it is somebody that's there that's not doing the right thing, that they know that they better do the right thing when it come down to yours.
How about that?
Okay, you better
I'm sorry for moving
make
around,
sure
but the
they doing
raindrops
the right.
making me clean up a little bit.
Oh no, you're okay. Oh yeah, you out at Casualty Gyms today, and we'll talk about that before we get off of here. And we was talking
Yeah.
about a couple other things too, about with your children. So this is something else for me with the permission slips, right? So make sure
Yeah.
that you read in the papers that the school send home for the children as well, and read it in full, because
In
most of the
full.
time, sometimes we skim through things and you miss the fine print.
Sometimes we don't read it at all and we just sign it, especially when you old like me and you got twins and you got a double stack of papers. So I'm talking about myself as well. Read what you're signing.
Uh-huh.
Read what you're
It's
signing.
important to read what you sign, and that's something my mom. We don't you just sign nothing without knowing what you signing, because you could be signing your whole life away. And
Yeah.
some of what I heard was stated on some of these permission slips that that they're not going to be responsible if something happened to your child sometimes. So you want to make sure you paying attention if your kid going on a field trip with the school and something happen, they can come back and what? That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Like we lost Timmy, but you signed a
That's
liability,
crazy.
so we're good.
And you don't even realize that you didn't sign something because you didn't read it.
Because you didn't
But
read it.
anything that's involving your children, you need to take your time and read, because you want to make sure that you are putting them in safe hands and everything is good.
Mm-hmm.
So we definitely want to talk about that. Read over the paperwork, sign up for PTA. Make sure you got that stuff on your calendar, because you got to show up for your children.
Yes, you do.
I like what we was talking about earlier, Monica, about checking kids for basic literacy. Um, how some people don't even correct their children. They don't even correct them when they hear them speaking a certain way. They don't correct them. They just let them speak that way. They grow up. You got to realize the children you're raising now is our future, right?
Mm-hmm.
So these are the kids that's going to be in the world working and doing the things that we are doing now. What are you doing at home to prepare them for that world?
And this answer is going to vary according to your children. I have
You
teenagers.
breaking up, Monica.
I said that answer is
You
going to
breaking up a
vary.
little bit, Monica.
Is it the weather?
Monica
Can you hear
breaking
me?
up because she walking around. So she might not be able to respond. Can you hear me, Monica?
I can hear you. You can't hear me?
You was breaking up for a minute. So whatever
Okay,
you
you can
were
hear me
saying,
now?
I didn't hear you. I can hear
No,
you good now.
I was just saying that that's going to vary according to the age of your child. But my kids being teenagers, um, don't assume that just because they have good grades that they are actually literate. I don't know no other nice way to say that. Um, your kid can have a 4.79 and can't conjugate a verb or put together a whole sentence. Uh, that's a
Let me tell
parent
you.
thing. It's up to us to make sure, sit down and read with your kids. Have them read something to you. Hey, I'm tired. My I can't find my glasses. Read this piece of mail. Do what you got to
Right.
do to make
Make
sure
them read
that what you
everything.
don't assume it's there. Have it
Mm-hmm.
demonstrated. Have it demonstrated. Can they write? I'm all
Mm-hmm.
over the place about this cursive thing because I get it that they don't do it no more, but I think you should still be able to read it should you come across it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
counting money, counting money. I'm seeing way older children, uh, young 12, 13, 14. They can't count money. And we ain't gonna talk about the clock. So yeah,
It's
and in this age
telling
where we very
time.
often don't have homework because it's on a computer, substitute that with whatever it is you want your child to learn. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and you can do it in a fun way, but there's always something to do.
Yeah, but you have to do it. You have to
Yeah,
do it. So don't depend on the school to do everything because
and don't
now
don't
you
just
just
don't just
putting
make that
your child.
assumption.
Yeah, that they are
Yeah,
going to do everything. Don't
yeah.
the teachers and the staff of the school are not there to raise your children. That's your position. That is your job. They are there to assist with teaching them the basic, and they don't even teach all the basic needs that you need in life. Some stuff it just be whatever, but it's other things that I feel like could be taught in school to really prepare them for life that's not taught in school. But that's
Mhm.
another conversation. But yeah, make sure that your kids are reading. Take that time. And you were speaking about getting off the phone earlier, with dropping them off, but you have to get off the phone at home too and be present in their lives when they are at home so they are comfortable with telling you things that are going on and how they feel. Some children are not comfortable with telling their parents how they feel about the classroom or about the teachers because they feel like, oh, mommy or daddy gonna be mean to me if I tell them, oh, I don't like this teacher, X, Y, and Z. The teacher is like this and don't know. No, they know what they feel. They know what
Mhm.
they feel. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Trust that they know what it is that they're saying, but you have to create that space for them to be able to come to you and be open. They say don't be, I ain't your little friend. You don't have to be friends, but being a parent is a part of create. You have to open up a space for your child to be comfortable so that you can guide them and lead them, and they can trust you to do that because they're comfortable with coming to you. So it's important to create that space for them.
Mhm.
Um, uh, that's just definitely very important. Just looking over a few of my notes here, things that I wanted to make sure that we spoke on. And if you do have any questions, feel free to leave those questions in the comment, or you can inbox myself or Monica about any questions that you may have that we can possibly answer, or bring somebody else on to assist you with that. I am going to be looking for other teachers or people just in the education field, period, to possibly come on and shed some light on what they know and what you feel like the parents should know that's happening after them school bells ring. We do have a previous podcast about like the IEP. That's something that will be good for parents to go back and look at. Don't be shy of asking about an IEP for your child, especially if you notice some things. Don't ignore it, because when you ignore certain signs, what you do is you set your child back. Let's not set
Mhm.
these kids back, because they set them back enough. Like you was just saying, Monica, don't trust, oh, because my child got a 4 point, this, that, and another. Because what I'm noticing in a lot of schools is they're just moving you along to the next grade, whether you know the information or not. Okay.
Mhm.
We just trying to get you in and get you out, because this is a part of the process for life, that you have to go to school during this course of time. Da 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 da
Mhm.
da. Your parents gonna get in trouble, and then the teachers, they're making a living doing whatever they got to do. But it has gotten to the point where your kids are basically scapegoating, getting by. They don't have
Mhm.
to. They're not even
Mhm.
reading in school anymore. I know
Mhm.
some children go to class. I said, well, did y'all do reading today? What the teacher read? What is that doing for the child? If the child is not reading and actually learning how to sound these words out for themselves, that's when you have a 13-year-old that can't read because the teacher is
Mhm.
reading. So they don't know how to
Mhm.
sound the words out and stuff. We
Mhm.
don't want that. Do your part
Mhm.
as a parent.
Mhm.
Do your part as a parent.
And that child might be bringing home good grades, and you think everything is cool.
Mm-hmm. But see,
You
that's why
know.
you got to be involved. Like these schools have these different little apps that you can go on, like Dojo. I can communicate with the teacher on Dojo. Hey,
Mhm.
I hope Micaiah is having a good day today. You know, thank you. Da, 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 da. These little things also show the teacher that you appreciate what they're doing, because dealing with other people's children is not easy. And you got to understand, these teachers not just dealing with your child, they dealing with about 20 other people kids. And everybody is raised differently,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So therefore, you consider the teacher as well. You know, that's why it's best to do your part. Don't leave all of that to the teachers. And it's also good for you to make sure that you're involved, because Monica was telling me something earlier, and this is very, very disturbing. We probably not gonna go too far into it, but they have, what is it, the discipline policies in
Restorative
DPS,
discipline.
the restorative discipline, with DPS. You said it was with DPS. This
Mhm.
is crazy now, y'all. Now this is crazy. Now we know it take a village, but you gonna leave
Mhm.
that village. If something happened, you gotta let mama and daddy know what's going on
Mhm.
too.
And
But
and this
with
this is
this,
another case of reading what you sign, because parents, we sign it. It's one of the papers that we sign. The
but
please
tell
read
us
your
a little bit
discipline
about that,
code.
Monica. Tell us a
Um,
little bit about it, because I don't
I'm gonna
like it.
basically tell you what restorative discipline is supposed to be and what I have seen it to be. Have I worked
Mhm,
everywhere? No. Have I worked at several different places and seen the same thing? Yes.
mhm,
So,
mhm,
restorative discipline is supposed to be a system where instead of kicking this kid out or giving this kid a negative consequence for negative behavior, we're going to call them to the counselor's office. We're going to talk with them. We're going to try to counsel with them. We're going to try to see what's going on and get to the root of the issue of why this child is misbehaving and assist this child in any way that we possibly can. Okay? What actually happens that I have seen, speaking for myself, um, the kid acts up in class. It can be any small thing from, just general not listening, being disruptive. I've even seen personally, students threaten the teacher to
mhm,
physically assault her. Those
mhm.
students were taken out of class, down to the counselor's office. They had some juice and some chips, and then they went back to class, and the parents were never notified. Um, Within the restorative discipline policy, there's no parent input. I'm basically saying your child can get in trouble at school and you won't even know it unless your child tell you. And this is another thing that goes back to listening to your child. Your child comes home and tell you they got beat up in the bathroom, and you're thinking, no way, if you got beat up in the bathroom, you'd be suspended and they would have called me and blah 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 blah. Nah, he probably got beat up in the bathroom. So I'm just saying, yeah, read your discipline policy. Be If you're that proactive, engaged parent, let them know. The school is here to teach my child, but I am a present parent, and if my child is misbehaving in any type of way, I want to know about it. Whatever y'all doing at school is what y'all do at school, but I want to know. I want to know.
Exactly.
Your kid been cutting up all year. He been getting juice and chips and going back to class, and you think everything is
Exactly.
fine.
Cutting up
And
all
and
year,
he
getting
terrorizing
chips
the
and
school.
juice. Got a 4.0, but can't even write a sentence properly. Right?
Right.
Not a good thing.
No,
No,
no.
not a good thing. But we
No.
definitely that I think that is y'all got to read that, read into that, because that's scary for me. That's scary for me because things can be happening, and you're not telling me about it. What
Hmm.
other type of things are
And a
going
lot of
on
times,
behind your
the kids
school
won't go
doors?
home and tell it because they feel like they're gonna get in trouble. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
or mama
Let's
and
say,
daddy
let's
not gonna
yeah,
believe them, and
they're not gonna believe me that that this teacher or this whoever did something inappropriate to me. They're gonna ask me, well, what did you do? And so that's a whole nother issue. But yeah, I mean, me as a parent, I definitely would prefer to be the disciplinarian, of my
mm-hmm.
child.
For sure, for
Like that's
sure,
crazy
for
with me.
sure.
So, but yeah.
I mean, I get it, but I also understand that it take a village to raise a child, and nowadays that has changed. I agree in the village to an extent. Don't go
I
too
mean,
far.
it sounds good if it's done well. But this is
Yeah,
another scenario, just like the IEPs, where it's handed down from above on paper, and in the actual facility, there are not the things there to actually do that. You know,
yeah.
and
So
this is
that's something
another
to
this
look
is a
into.
piece where the parent and the teacher working together is beneficial because there may be a lot of things that the teacher knows that she feels are not right, that she would like to see
Mhm.
changed. But generally, teachers' complaints are just teacher complaints. But parent complaints carry more weight. You know what I
So
mean?
that's why it's to have that relationship.
Yeah.
Have that relationship. Build those relationships with the teacher. Let the teacher know who you are. Let the staff in the office know who you are, that you are there and you show up for your child, and it brings out something different in your child too. It makes them want to do better. It makes them commit themselves to what they're there for even more because they know that their parents are showing up for them, no doubt about it. um this is just a piece I want to share real quick, and I did speak on confidence a little bit earlier, and I want to just speak on that again because the confidence that your child carries when they leave out the door makes a difference in what they do when they get to school. Do not tear them down and belittle them or make them feel less than because of certain situations or what they may not know and all of that. You create that for these children. Give them the best. Let them know that you may not know that now, but it does not mean that you cannot learn it. You understand what I'm saying? Let
Hmm.
them know that it's okay so that they are not afraid when they go to school to ask questions that need to be asked, to do certain things because they worried about what somebody else is going to say.
Right. So that's what school is for.
Yeah, that's
If
exactly
we
what
already
it's
knew,
for.
none of us will be here.
Exactly. So make sure that first of all that you're not sending the child to school that's going to tease another person because they asking a question, and also make sure that you instill in your child that it's good to ask questions if you don't know. Okay, because you can have another child sitting back and they scared to ask the same question that you want to ask, and now we got two kids sitting in there that don't know the answer because they're nervous, they scared, they don't have the confidence, they feel it's going to make them be seen a certain way. We're not worried about that. We're not
Hmm.
worried about that. So help to make sure that you're building these children's confidence. I don't. Everybody deal with different things, and I don't know how you were brought up. I know how I was brought up. Monica know how she was brought up, and the things that were said to us, done to us, prior to school, and just in our early childhood ages. You determine if what you received was good enough for you to pass down to your child, and make adjustments and changes where it's necessary to make sure that if you were getting not some toxic stuff when you were a kid, let's not pass that down to your kids. You know what I'm saying? I was saying to you earlier, Monica, I know somebody who said that they mother used to call them out their name, call them the B word. They
Hmm.
had kids. Once they had the kids, they started calling their children a B word. So you know what you're doing? You creating kids, you're setting them up to go to school and call other people the B word. Now it's problems in school, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you giving them what your mom or daddy gave you. Make sure that you're giving them good fruit. Sow good seeds into your children so what they create is even better. We want to send them out so they are confident, ready to go, get this education so that they can be good people later on in life. But it starts in your home, not in the school that you choose for your child to go to. It starts in your home. So I want to make sure that y'all on top of that. Okay. And if you do have any resources, any other type of tips, you can always leave those in the comments. Don't forget to hit me or Monica up if you have any questions. If you would like to join us on the podcast to speak on these things, if you have some tips, feel free to inbox me and we can do that. Okay. Do you have any last words in regards to what happens after the school bells ring when them doors close, Monica, before I speak on something else?
Put little Stinkerbug Junior to bed. That's it for now. We got much more to talk about, but right, let's start there. Let's put
But
Stinkerbug Junior to
put them
bed.
to sleep. And make sure they're getting their vitamins. Like we make sure that their immune system is good because school is starting back and it's what? This is August going into
Yes,
September.
germ time.
Temps changing, all types of things. So start getting what they need in them now so that they can fight off some of all this crazy stuff we got going on out here. But like Monica said, make sure they get some sleep and you get them up in enough time to prepare for the day. With that being said, we thank you for listening to that portion. But I do want to say something real quick. Monica, let me take a look at your shirt.
Oh, okay. Can you see it? She
Casualty
doing this kind of stuff.
gems.
You're going to have to
Yes,
flip
I
that.
can.
I was trying to
Yes,
find a
I
flyer.
can
It's
see.
raining. We about to clean up.
Okay, so they are out right now. Casualty Gems. Okay, so this is a nonprofit organization, and right now we are doing a yard sale. So
Mm-hmm.
if you are in need of
Cleaning up now.
anything, cleaning up now. If you are in need of any items, listen, it's okay if you need help. Don't be afraid to say that you need help, because we all need help at some point in time, and times are hard. So right now, Casualty Gems is doing a yard sale. It was this weekend, and it will be next weekend. I'll be out next weekend for the yard sale. So we have good items out there. If your kids need something, shoes, clothes, if you are in need of something and you're looking for lower prices, make sure that you check that flyer out. I'll leave that in the comments as
I'm gonna
well.
send some
And
pictures too. We have some real nice shoes.
oh, well, yeah, post those pictures. And also go to them back to school events that they got going on, giving out these backpacks. I did hear something like, oh, people just doing stuff to be doing stuff and they got cheap backpacks. Check this out. Your children go through multiple backpacks within the school year. They tear stuff up. They can be rough, whatever the case may be. Do not be ashamed, embarrassed, or anything like that to go and get your kids' school book bags. And if you are a person who are throwing one of those events, don't be ashamed if you can't afford to buy expensive book bags. You're trying to do something to assist the parent with getting their child sent off to school with a little bit of help. So we thank you for doing the back to school events. I will be hosting one in September on Puritan on September the 5th with Devisha Cook. I'll post that flyer as well. You can come out and get the kids some school supplies, but there are so many back to school events. Try to hit them up if you can. Sign up, register, whatever the case may be. I'll post a few of them that I have seen to get that help because we can all use it. Don't be ashamed of using any resources around you, especially if you're a single parent. Even if you're not a single parent, get the help. Utilize the resources. Period.
Period.
Period. We just want to touch base on a few things. I thank you all for joining us today. I hope that we were able to provide you with a little bit of information to give you a boost. If you were a little nervous about this school year, I hope that we were able to calm your nerves a little bit and you able to go into this knowing that you got this, your child got this, and everything gonna be all right because God got you both. Thanks for joining. Talk to me nicely. What happens after the school bell rings? It's important for you to know. Check out the other podcasts on my YouTube channel, and we out. Peace.